Hey guys, it's Jeb here, and in today's video we're going to be discussing the Litecoin halving that's coming up in just a little under 2 days. We're going to be discussing exactly what the Litecoin halving is, why it's important, and what impacts it may have here on the Litecoin chart. So we're going to be doing some technical analysis on Litecoin later on in the video as well. To start off the video, however, we need to go ahead and dive on into Bitcoin because Bitcoin has started a new rally, and we have many different technical confirmations thereof. I want to go ahead and dive into what those confirmations are and discuss whether or not we're actually about to see a Bitcoin rally resume, or if this is just a bit of a bull trap. So guys, we do have a lot to get into in today's video, so if you do enjoy today's video, I would very much appreciate if you hit that like button down below. And also, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, guys. I wouldn't want you to miss any of the videos. And also, before we dive on into it, I do want to remind you that we are still running that sale on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. You guys seem to be very much enjoying the sale. We've had a lot of you guys join over the last week and a half or so, so I'm going to be extending it through Monday. If you want to join CT2A and you want to actually learn how to do technical analysis on these markets, so you can then be more profitable in these markets as the bull market continues, I do recommend you click the link in the description down below. At checkout, you can use the coupon code 25K2019 to get $40 off the course price. But anyway, guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. The first thing that we need to do here is, of course, our Bitcoin technical analysis. As always, I want to zoom in here to the hourly chart and show you what's going on here. Bitcoin is currently trading around $10,800, and we actually pushed up to and topped out at 10.9 last night. That's a big deal because we've been talking about how Bitcoin needs to prove itself. We've been talking about how Bitcoin has been in a downtrend here for the last couple of weeks, and if Bitcoin doesn't really start rallying and proving once again that it is bullish, we can't just say that Bitcoin's in a rally because it's been moving to the upside for 2 days. We need more technical confirmation of that. Luckily, we've gotten that in the last couple of days. If we look here, then we can see that Bitcoin started trading here on July 30th down here below $9,000, down here around 9.5. Today, we're $1,300 higher than that, and we have a lot of technical confirmations showing that we have started a new rally. So let's go ahead and dive into those. I mean, one of the first one is actually just the fact that Bitcoin's been rallying here for the last 4 or 5 days. The fact that Bitcoin's been moving to the upside this long is indicative of something. The last time we saw Bitcoin rally for this long was back over here in mid-July. As you can see, this didn't really materialize into anything, but already Bitcoin's been rallying longer than we did back over there. Here we've been rallying for about 4.5 days. Back over here is only about 3.5. The last major rally we saw in Bitcoin was 8 days long and 35% gain over here at the beginning of this downtrend. If we can beat these numbers, 35% to the upside in 8 days in duration, then that's going to be a confirmation that we're still moving to the upside. Point is, the longer Bitcoin moves to the upside, the more confirmation we have. One other thing we need to discuss, guys, is of course our RSI. As you know, I like to use the RSI as a technical confirmation of bullishness and or bearishness. Right now, as we can see, RSI has been trading here above this 60 level. As you can see, this line is actually the 60 level. Bitcoin's RSI here on the 4-hourly has been trading above this 60 level for the last 4 or 5 days. You want to see RSI above 55.60 to confirm that you're in a rally. If you're kind of trading around 50, then you're not in a rally, you're just kind of trading sideways. If you're below 45 or so, then you're not in an uptrend, you're in either a downtrend or a temporary correction. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting up here in very nice territories for the RSI. Not too overbought, but it is still indicating that we are moving to the upside in a nice, paced, slow, healthy manner. I'm very happy to see the way the RSI looks here on the 4-hourly. One more thing, guys, out here on the daily chart, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, we have seen this bullish cross on the MACD. I want to give this a few more days, maybe about 4 days, and then I'll call that another confirmation. Basically, the way I look at the MACD, you have the first confirmation here, which would be the change in color on the histogram. You see another confirmation, which would be the cross, and then another confirmation, I'd say, is about 4 or 5 days of bullishness on the MACD. So the MACD line can kind of pull away from the signal line, and it becomes less likely that you're just going to fall straight back below it. The reason why I look at that is because these lines are based on averages. If you've only been cross bullish for 1 or 2 days, it's very easy to cross back bearish. But if you've already been bullish for, say, a week and a half or so, it's a lot harder to get the chart to pull all the way down and have a bearish cross, which is why it's so much easier for a rally to fail on the early side than it is on the later side. One more thing, too, is that RSI is moving to the upside down here, and considering RSI as a momentum oscillator, I'm very happy to see that. As you can see, RSI is pointed to the upwards direction. Bitcoin has also broken our 20 exponential moving average over here. That is a moving average that we've used for a very long time, over a year here on the channel, to determine when Bitcoin is in an uptrend or a downtrend. This piece of market over here is a great example of why I like to use it. As you can see, when Bitcoin is below this moving average, we're in a downtrend. When we're above it, we're in an uptrend. You can see this a lot on this chart. Uptrend, uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, yada, yada, yada. It's a very easy way to determine when Bitcoin's in an uptrend or a downtrend. And for the last 2.5 weeks or so, Bitcoin had been below this level, indicating that we were in a downtrend, which we most certainly were. But as you can see, we've crossed bullish once again. And even, guys, out here on the weekly chart, we're starting to see a lot of bullish signs as well. If we can close this weekly candlestick exactly the way it looks like we're going to, considering the week is coming to an end, we're going to see a bullish engulfing pattern here on the chart. This is typically what you see at the bottom of a market. If you're in CT2A and you watch this video right here on Introduction to Candlestick Analysis, we go over 6 different types of candlestick formations, and one of them is a bullish engulfing pattern, and that's exactly what this is right here. It's a bullish engulfing candlestick bottom. You can use this to determine when Bitcoin has bottomed out and when Bitcoin is about to set a reversal in motion. Should Bitcoin be able to close here above this level, which it looks like it's probably going to, that would be quite bullish for Bitcoin. More things out here on the weekly chart to be happy about is the fact that we never actually saw that bearish cross on the weekly chart that I was worried about, and we also have not seen RSI dip below 60 even once. Both very bullish. So now that I've berated you with a bunch of different technical indicators, let's discuss whether or not Bitcoin is actually in a new rally and whether or not that rally will stay confirmed, because all those technical indicators are kind of useless if we don't draw conclusions from them. First of all, pretty much every single thing I showed you was bullish. Some of those technical indicators have only been bullish for a few days, so like I said, I want to give it a little bit more time before I start putting any leverage, for example, on trades that I may be doing on Bitcoin. Likewise, Bitcoin was at a much better time to be buying in down here, but if you are looking for a long position, now might be a good time. I want you to make that decision on your own. As always, though, all in all, I do think that Bitcoin is in a new rally, and I do think that Bitcoin is headed to the upside, but I also think it's going to face some challenges. First of all, Bitcoin has only been in this new uptrend for a few days, only about 4 or 5 days. While this does look like a rally, there are false rallies all the time in downtrends. You need to look no farther than the entire year of 2018 to find proof of that. Every single one of these looked like a very strong bottom, and it looked like Bitcoin was going to start moving to the upside, but every single time the highs got lower and lower and lower. So just because you're seeing signs that a reversal is happening and that a rally may be resuming, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually going to happen. You need long-term bullishness. You need bullish strength on the macro trends as well as on the short-term trends. Luckily, we are in a bull market, which can help to push forward that rally, and you also need bullish fundamentals. Right now, the fundamentals are remarkably bullish. I'm very happy with them, so that's not something we really need to worry about. To conclude on Bitcoin here, guys, and I will talk price targets in a future video, we're looking at this downtrend of resistance as a price target for right now, just to be brief. To conclude here, I do want to say that it looks like Bitcoin is restarting a new rally, but before we can go ahead and say for sure that Bitcoin is going to be in a new rally, we do need Bitcoin to fulfill some more confirmations, like getting above this downtrend of resistance, getting above $13,200 up here, and of course the final one, getting above $14,000 up here. If Bitcoin can break this number 1, number 2, and this number 3 confirmation, if we can shoot through all of these, then yes, we're in a new rally. Right now, we're in kind of the proto phase of the rally where it could either succeed or fail. After we get above 14K, it very well could succeed. One thing I also do want to mention though, guys, is that it's not necessarily a good idea to wait all the way until $14,000 to start putting your trades in. If you're going to look for a place to make trades, the place to make trades and start buying in is down here. It's more risky. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm simply telling you the way that traders will look at the market. It's a lot more profitable if you set your trade down here and it turns out that this up here does actually play out. What you can do is what I'm doing, and that is making trades down here and then letting those trades ride, and then if something starts looking bad and the market starts going to the downside, you can stop yourself out up here and you made profit. And then if you want to re-enter the trade, what you can do is wait for the market to come up here to $14,000, for example, and you can have a new trade starting down here somewhere. If you want to do something like that, there are a lot of ways that you can trade the market. We do talk about some of that in C22A, but there's a lot of different ways that you can trade the market to make the most out of the gains that are on the table. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the news portion of today's video because the Litecoin halving is coming up in a few days. This article says 5 days because this article is a few days old, but nevertheless, Litecoin is having. As you can see here, in about a day and 20 hours, give or take, Litecoin is going to have a halving. It's never exact when exactly this is going to happen because Litecoin halvings are based on block height, not on date, so we can't tell exactly. This is the ETA, about the 5th of August, about 10 o'clock in the afternoon. And the reason we're discussing this is because a lot of people have been talking about the potential bullish ramifications of a Litecoin halving. A lot of people look at halvings and they say, okay, when a halving happens, a massive rally is going to happen in the market. And while some research has disproven this as a factor on smaller cap altcoins, I would still disagree with the research and say that halvings do play an impact on the larger two cryptocurrencies that go through halvings, those being Bitcoin and those being Litecoin, the two largest proof of work cryptocurrencies on the market. These two cryptocurrencies, I would say, are much more impacted by halvings than the other altcoins that are further down on the list because these two cryptocurrencies are going to have a lot of news around them when they have halvings. People have been talking about Litecoin halvings for the last 6 months or so in anticipation of what's going to happen the day after tomorrow. So is the halving going to have an impact on price action on Litecoin? Almost definitely. The question is not so much will Litecoin's halving have an impact on price action? The question is, has that impact already been factored into the price action? Have we already seen the impacts from the Litecoin halving that we were going to see? Was all of this driven by Litecoin halving hype and now it's already priced in and there's basically nothing going to happen the day that it comes? Or is a massive rally going to form when the Litecoin halving does go through. Well, guys, if you want to learn more about halvings and the impacts that they actually have on cryptocurrencies, I do implore you to watch this video in the top right. I talk about halvings in that video, and I talk about the reason why the halving itself and the decrease in block reward itself will have basically zero impact on the market. The entire reason that halvings have impacts on the market is because of the hype that are built around them. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, really. And guys, I'll be quite honest, I don't think a massive rally is going to come from the Litecoin halving. There hasn't been a whole lot of news stories coming out about this as we're finally getting close to it. You know, these big news stories, like, for example, when the Bitcoin Cash hard fork was going on in 2017, back then, not a massive amount happened on the day that the halving itself actually happened, but a lot did happen leading up to it because everybody was writing news stories 2 weeks before it happened, and then by the time it got there, everybody had already made the trades that they were going to make. The market had already moved in the way the market was going to move, and the halving, or in that case, the hard fork, didn't actually have much of an impact at all. And I have a feeling that something similar is going to happen to Litecoin here. One thing I do want to point out is that Litecoin is sitting here in a consolidation pattern that ends, coincidentally enough, right over here around the time that the halving happens, so maybe that we do see a large move here on Litecoin in the next couple of days simply because of this consolidation pattern and it coinciding with the halving. Maybe something big happens with that, but guys, I'm not expecting a 50, 100%, 200% rally to come from this. We might see a 10 or 20% jump, but I don't think it's going to be anything gargantuan. I think most of the gains that we were going to make because of the Litecoin halving have probably already been made. I think a lot of this had to do with the Litecoin halving. But with that said, guys, before we wrap it up, I do also want to jump over here to CoinMarketCap because I'm not convinced that Litecoin is worth as much as it should be. Litecoin, in my opinion, the way that CoinMarketCap ought to be structured is Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash down here somewhere at the bottom, and then we have our other cryptocurrencies following suit. I think Litecoin ought to be number 4, not number 5, and it's very, very close here, but I do also think that Litecoin ought to be worth more than $95 when Bitcoin is worth $11,000, based on the way that I've seen the market work for a very long time. And luckily enough, CoinMarketCap has data for that, so I can show you what I'm talking about here. As we can see, right now, Litecoin is representing about 2% of market dominance right around there, about 2.07% of market dominance. It's hard to get to zoom in right there, where Bitcoin represents a massive 66% market dominance. Back in 2017, for example, Litecoin was sitting up here closer to 3%. Litecoin historically has had a lot more market dominance than it does lately, but Litecoin also tends to start popping off later on in the bull market for Bitcoin. With all that said, I think that Litecoin is undervalued right now. I don't think it's massively undervalued, but I do think that Litecoin ought to be trading up here somewhere around $140 or $150. I personally have a leverage trade on Litecoin sitting right now, waiting for Litecoin to rally. It's a very long-term trade. I haven't even touched it ever since I made it. If you guys are interested, I think I made it down here around 92 Satoshis on Litecoin. I don't remember exactly where it was. It's slightly in the negative right now, but I'm not too worried about it. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to do it for today's video. If you guys do want to support the channel while also learning how to trade these markets so that you can be as profitable in these markets as I know you are capable of, I do highly recommend the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, guys. 33 hours of content, over 4 hours of footage. If you want to learn how to do just about anything in technical analysis, you're going to find it somewhere in this course. If you want to learn how to plan your trades so that you can be sure that you are staying safe while also maximizing the gain that you make from each of your trades, you're going to need this video. If you're trying to understand how exactly the mass psychology of these markets work so that you can understand how people think, because how people think drives the way that the market moves, you're going to need this video. If you want to learn how to dollar cost average so you can make the most of your investments while also not putting yourself in too much risk, this video is great for that. Those are just 3 examples of the over 30 videos we have here in the course, guys. If you do want to learn how to do technical analysis so that you can make the most out of this bull market, I mean, think about how much money you have missed out on in the course of Bitcoin's history. I know I've missed out on a lot, and most of the reason I missed out on it is either because I didn't see the trade or because I didn't know how to make the trade. You can't always eliminate not seeing the trade because unfortunately us traders do need to sleep, but you can eliminate not knowing how to make the trade, or you can eliminate selling too early or not protecting yourself properly. If you're going to be working in these markets, you need to know what you're doing. 90% of traders are not profitable. You don't want to be one of those people. You want to be one of the people that are profitable. To get there, you're going to need to learn how to do it. Guys, you can check the link in the description down below. You click that. If you like what you see, you can click the purchase course button, and then from there you can use the coupon code 25K2019 linked in the description at checkout to get $40 off the course price. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I do hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did, you can support the channel by smashing that like button, guys, and also if you're new here and you managed to sit through all of my rambling and self-promotion, I would also very much appreciate if you hit that red subscribe button. It's absolutely free. I promise I won't charge you anything. And you can also hit that notification bell so you'll be updated every single time a new video goes out. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this video. I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.